This is a special time, a special game, played by those filled with the unbridled passion and innocence of youth, in a magical setting where dreams become reality. The last time we saw the LSU Tigers in Omaha, their dreams had been fulfilled as they celebrated the 1991 National Championship. After a year's absence, Skip Bertman has his team back in the College World Series. It's their 6th appearance in 8 years. No one in the country has done that well. LSU has a powerful attack led by consensus All-American Todd Walker. He's pounding the ball for a .398 average with impressive power numbers as well. LSU's hitting will face the challenge of Daniel Choi's arm tonight. The Long Beach State sophomore has a spectacular 16-1 record, the best in the nation. This is the opening round of the College World Series with 5th-seeded LSU facing number 4 seed Long Beach State. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, and it's great to have you with us. We have a tremendous field here in Omaha this year. 7 of the top 8 teams in the country have made it here, along with the Cinderella story of the season, the Kansas Jayhawks. I'd like to bring in my partner now, Steve Garvey. You know him well as an all-star with the Dodgers and the Padres, but also he was a first-team All-American with Michigan State, although you never got here.
I went to Michigan State to go to a Rose Bowl and to go to the College World Series, and it's taken me 25 years, but I finally made it. It's a pleasure to be working with you, and this whole World Series has got an atmosphere to it that's going to be special. 7 of the top 10 teams in the country are here. It's going to be a work of art.
Larry Conley is also working with us again this year downstairs. Larry, what do you have for us?
Well, Mike, obviously you just heard Steve Garvey refer to those dirt bags of Long Beach State, and you got to wonder about that. You've only arrived when you get a nickname in baseball. Coach Dave Snow had an '89 club he referred to as the Dirt Bags simply because they played on an all-dirt infield. He says, guys, to get a nickname, you got to earn it. And he told this club to earn Dirt Bags, you got to get to the College World Series. Well, they're here, and we have Dirt Bags, too. I guess this is one of those stories you can only find in the College World Series.
All right, Larry, thanks very much. A sellout crowd and a record crowd of 20,000 plus. We'll be back in a moment.
ESPN's presentation of the 1993 College World Series is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
LSU comes in at 49-16-1, SEC champions under Skip Bertman in his 10th year. The leadoff man is a redshirt freshman, Jason Williams. He'll play third base. Armando Rios is the senior center fielder. He hits in the second spot. Russ Johnson, the shortstop, bats third in the order. He's a sophomore. Consensus All-American Todd Walker bats cleanup, 19 homers, 90 RBIs. Harry Berrios with 17 homers hits 5th and plays right. 6th in the order, junior Mike Neal. He'll DH today. The number 7 hitter, the catcher, junior Adrian Antonini. The left fielder is senior Jim Greeley. He'll bat 8th. And batting 9th and playing first, senior Kenny Jackson.
Pitching for the 49ers, number 29, Daniel Choi. His numbers speak for themselves. 16-1, 2.37 earned run average, most wins in the nation. Catching Choi, Brian Watley. No ball has gotten by him in 5 games. Enough said. John Swanson, the veteran, a regional MVP. At second base, Eric Martins, excellent pivot man. He can do it all. At shortstop, Rudy Rodriguez, the leader of the Dirt Bags. Tim Falkson, great arm, a Brooks Robinson-type player. He'll play third base. In left field, Sean Davison, Mr. Versatility, can play 5 positions tonight, left field. In center field, Kobe Cradle, he's known as the Spider-Man, and you'll see why. And in right field, number 27, Kevin Curtis, good speed, good size, a complete player.
Beautiful weather conditions here tonight. The wind blowing in a little bit at Rosenblatt Field. The skies have cleared up quite a bit. Beautiful conditions for a game and a crowd of over 20,000 still filing in here. 60 degrees. The chance of rain earlier was 0, now up to 15%. And wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the wind turn around and blow out as it does so often here at Rosenblatt. Teams have not played in 4 years, and they played each other here, where LSU eliminated Long Beach State 8-5. And we are set to go. Opening round game, a lot of pressure on both ball clubs to win and stay in the winner's bracket. And Jason Williams, the third baseman out of Gonzales, Louisiana, will lead it off, hitting .340. First delivery from Choi is a ball.
Mike, tonight we'll take a look at Choi in these first few innings and analyze his pitching style to see how he became 16-1 in this season.
Little low, 2-0.
He's known to have very good location. He has 4 quality pitches, a fastball, a slider, a curve, and a change. Mixes up location and speeds.
I think right now the biggest thing he'd have to fight is his nerves. Called strike, 2-1.
We've seen a number of first games. The first game in this series with Texas A&M beating Kansas, it took 4 or 5 innings for the guys to get settled and finally swing the bats like they can.
2-2 to Gonzales. Made the Southeastern Conference All-Tournament team. Hit .391 in the playoffs and comes in with an 8-game hit streak. Exactly when you want to get hot. Breaking ball outside, full count to the leadoff hitter, Jason Williams.
That was a good example of Choi using a tight slider that time. The next time he'll come back with a bigger breaking curveball, and then he'll reverse the sequence of it. That's why he's such a good pitcher.
High, and he lost him. So Williams trots down to first.
I forgot to mention, usually what happens in the first couple innings is you see more walks. Well, the pitcher's adjusting to the mound. He really hasn't thrown off of this mound. The batters are a little tentative the first time around. They want to see all of the pitches by the opposing pitchers, so the guys don't swing the bat as much as they will later on in the game.
Armando Rios out of Carolina, Puerto Rico, the number 2 hitter, .312 on the season. All-tournament team in the NCAA South Regional, and he slaps it foul off the first base side.
He's got a perfect Len Berman type of name there.
An advertising major at LSU. Williams down at first with 11 stolen bases this year. Outside, 1-1.
Especially from center field. Our center field camera does a good job of catching the movement of the ball by the pitchers. That time Choi taking a little off the fastball, and as you can see it, tailing away from the left-handed hitter.
Watley behind the plate, a good handler of pitchers. Throw over and made Williams dive back into the bag. Williams 11 out of 14 on the year. Steals. Rios takes it low. He walks a lot. 61 bases on balls this year. And Choi, who has given up only 44 passes all season long, struggling with his control early. Here's the 2-1. Instead, the throw to first.
Choi does a good job of keeping the runners on first base. He will also, with a runner at first who's got good speed, he will move quickly towards home plate, much more quickly than he normally would against a runner who might not have the speed to go.
Strike called, 2-2.
Good velocity by Choi. We've got an audio catcher's mitt tonight. You can always tell the guys that have a little zip on their fastballs. You can hear it even up here in the booth. And
another full count to Rios. We'll see what they'll do with Jason Williams at first.
Mike, I always like to contrast pitchers, young pitchers, to maybe major league pitchers. And Troy reminds me a lot of Catfish Hunter. Never gave you the same pitch in the same location throughout the whole game. And that's why it's tough to hit.
Hit towards second with a runner going. They throw to second, get the force, back to first, double play. Nice move by Rodriguez, the shortstop. Martins fed him the chest-high toss, and he gunned it back to first.
This is almost a screen on Martins, and we talked about Martins having good hands and good movement at second base. Gets the ball, still goes for the pivot, back foot slides. Rodriguez comes across the bag, and it's a close play at first base for the double play. Williams leading off. Not a real good jump.
Back to live action to Russ Johnson, the shortstop, a 353 hitter and a freshman All-American. The chalk up one for the Dirtbags on the 4-6-3 double play. And there is Rodriguez with the oldest hat in captivity.
Those are ingrained sweat stains. Right there.
They gave them all new hats, but Rodriguez won't wear his.
Oh, I wouldn't either. I was always superstitious. If I was going well, I'd keep that hat, sanitary socks, underwear, etc. on.
Breaking ball in there. 1-2 to Russ Johnson out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. And that double play should certainly help Choi's confidence and get rid of some of the butterflies. With a breaking ball.
One of Choi's strengths is that he keeps the ball down, and especially in amateur baseball, especially the college level, it's very, very important, because this defense by the 49ers is very, very good. And obviously with that double play, this is a reason why they're here at the College World Series.
Breaking ball on 2-2, missed again, so he's gone 3-2 on all three hitters he's faced here in the top of the first. Another thing about keeping the ball down, there is some new sod in front of home plate, and if you can get him to hit them in that area, there's not going to be much spin or speed on the ball when he gets to the infield. Fastball hit deep to center field. Cradle on his horse to the track, and he's got it. So a base on balls doesn't hurt them. And it's 0-0 after a half inning. Long Beach State brings a 43-17 record into the College World Series. Dave Snow in his 5th year with the 49ers. Leading off, the club's all-time stolen base leader, Kobe Cradle. He'll play center field. Batting second and playing second base, junior Eric Martins. First baseman John Swanson is the number 3 hitter. He's a senior. Kevin Curtis is the cleanup man and right fielder. He's a 370 hitter. In the number 5 slot, junior Brian Smith. He'll be the DH tonight. Shortstop Rudy Rodriguez, the team leader, bats number 6. He's a senior. 7th in the order, junior Sean Davison. He'll be in left field. Senior Brian Watley will catch and bat in the 8th spot. And batting 9th, Tim Falskett, the third baseman.
And pitching for LSU, Mike Sorotka, 10-5, 1.93 earned run average. Good fastball, good slider, very similar to Choi. The big kid with a big smile and a great arm, Adrian Antonini. He's catching, number 6. At first base, Kenny Jackson, coming off an all-regional team performance. At second base, Todd Walker, number 12, one of the best players in the country. Great bat, good defense. And Russ Johnson at shortstop. He's the leader of this infield and of the team. At third base, Jason Williams, strong arm. Jim Greeley in left field, a versatile performer, can play 4 positions. Armando Rios has made the big catch at the big time all season for LSU. And in right field, number 33, Harry Berrios, the hottest hitter on the team, probably the best fielder.
This has to be a great feeling for Sorotka to come back here after pitching in '91 on the national championship team, going 11-0, and then having to have rotator cuff surgery on his pitching shoulder, struggling last year, back to form now, and getting the starting assignment in the College World Series.
Mike, this truly is a great comeback by a young man who had the world in the palm of his hands, so to speak. He was 11-0, wins a World Series game, and all of a sudden, as what happens to athletes from time to time, an injury almost takes it away from him, and he battles back, and now he's back in the World Series, one of the top pitchers in the country, 10-5 this year, and the first pitcher for his team in Omaha.
Kobe Cradle out of Cerritos, California, will lead it off for the 49ers. That is their official nickname. They have adopted dirtbags, and you gotta love that.
AKA, also known as.
Cradle, one of 3 captains for this team. Pop to short, and Johnson back on the grass. So Cradle has gone quickly, 1 out here in the Long Beach State First. This is the new Rosenblatt Stadium. They continue to make improvements here. They've added 2,500 seats down the left field line with a new grandstand. They did the same down the right field line earlier last year. A new scoreboard, another new paint job that's just getting better and better. There's the scoreboard. And of course, this is the AAA park for the Kansas City Royals Farm Club here in Omaha. So they're a beneficiary of all this. Eric Martin stands in, the junior from Montebello, California, hitting .270. He was on the All-East regional team.
Eric Martin's, we mentioned earlier, we were talking about the lineups, is your quintessential number 2 hitter. He knows how to hit and run, move the players around. He'll take a pitch from time to time. He'll work a walk. So he's perfect for Dave Snow in that position.
Got a piece of that and is in a hole 0-2. Platooned him earlier in the year at second base for Falston, who eventually moved to third. 0-2, high and tight.
What Soroka will do that Choi won't do, Soroka will pitch up from time to time. He'll throw that high fastball, get you looking up, and then he'll bring that slider down. So he's so effective because he mixes the pitches up, where Choi is the same way, but he'll mix them up down. He'll mix them up in and out, but he'll keep it below the thighs. Soroka is not afraid to throw the ball up and away.
Breaking pitch got him swinging. Soroka is already in the LSU record book, the only SEC player ever to play on 4 championship teams.
Remember this sequence: high fastball, then a curveball that steps up there and just breaks on down. Martin's looking up, and that curveball breaks down. He's on top of it. Strike 3, and he's out.
Senior first baseman John Swanson stands in at 345 with occasional power, the 5 homers. In the East Regional, he hit 3 of his 5 home runs in 3 days. Sort of a short porch in right in Tallahassee, and he took advantage of it.
Even though this field is symmetrical, 332 down the lines, 360 in right and left, and 408 in center, annually the ball travels out better in right field.
And right now the flag dead still in center, so he's not going to get any help or hindrance from the wind.
That's the first upset of the World Series.
Yeah, isn't it, though?
Very rarely does the flag remain still here. It'll start moving again.
When it starts blowing out at about 15 miles an hour, it can be a launching pad with that aluminum bat.
And we'll talk about the aluminum bat later. We'll share some of the thoughts by Coach Snow and Bertman.
Breaking ball hit right at the shortstop, Russ Johnson. So the Dirtbags go quietly in the first. 1, 2, 3, and at the end of 1, we're scoreless. 100 a year ago, hit 398 this season so far. He's got a chance to win the SEC Triple Crown. Walker right now is chasing Joe Biernat of South Carolina, who hit 403. His season is over. Walker hitting 398. He would need to go 2 for 5 in this game to get up to 404 and have a shot at the SEC Triple Crown. That hasn't been done since Rafael Palmeiro in '84.
Mike, the problem is he has over 250 at bats, so it's very difficult to get the big jumps that you need. But If there's one guy that can do it, it's Todd Walker.
Suffering from a sore throat right now.
We say you don't hit with your throat, though. Charlie Huff used to tell me, you got a big neck, but you don't hit with your neck. I used to say, okay.
3-1. And Walker, who drew a lot of walks earlier in the year, does not like to walk. He wants to swing the bat. And took an anemic cut at that one. Fooled by Choi.
And that's what Choi will do to you. The reason why? Because he mixes the speeds up. He'll throw 85, 86, then 76. That's a good contrast to throw a hitter's timing off.
3-2 to Walker. Outside. Let's check in with Larry Conley. Larry?
Thanks, Mike. Obviously, this face looks pretty familiar. It just doesn't have a uniform to go with it. It's Ron Frazier, the former coach of the University of Miami. And Ron, obviously, you're here enjoying this, but it must seem strange not having a club.
Well, it is strange. You know, you're sitting here, you're not worried about whether they're going to have practice and whether your pitcher got enough sleep last night and, you know, all those other things that you have to worry about, the media and, you know, it really is strange.
You've had a couple of guys in this game right here that you coached with, had a working relationship over a couple of years.
Yeah, Skip Bertman at LSU, of course, he was with me as my assistant coach for 9 years. And Dave Snow was just with me all summer in the Olympic program where we went to Barcelona. They're two outstanding coaches. You know, it's a tough one for me because I care so much for both of them. But I know it's going to be a great ball game, and they're going to have a well-played ball game because they both do a great job.
Ron, congratulations on a terrific career. We enjoyed it all the years you were here.
Thank you, Larry. I enjoyed it, too, and I miss it.
Okay, Mike, back to you.
All right, Larry. And Ron, we certainly miss you. College baseball, the poorer for your absence. Swing and a miss. And 0-2 to Harry Berrios, the right fielder from Grand Rapids, Michigan. On an 11-game hitting streak coming in, and he's up with Todd Walker at first and nobody out here in the second inning.
Berrios has taken a couple of good pitches so far. I think Choi's reputation has preceded him a little bit. As Berrios sees him, maybe another at bat or so, he won't be taking those sliders that are belt high on the inside part of the plate.
And Berrios comes in on a streak in 10 tournament games in the Southeastern Conference, and in the regionals he's hitting .459 with 6 home runs. Strike called on the inside corner. Well, it's obvious Choi did not win 16 games by accident. He can pitch.
We talked about the tentativeness of the hitters, and here's Berrios, one of the best hitters in the World Series, taking a ball that's on the inside, that's a curveball, a 12-6 curveball, and not swinging at it. A little bit of nervousness the first inning or two.
So Walker at first with one down. Walker bluffs the start, and a called strike to Mike Neal, the designated hitter. You mentioned 12-6 curveball for the uninitiated. What is the pitcher doing to throw a 12-6 curveball?
Just about to get to that. 12-6 on a clock, 12 o'clock being up high and 6 being down low. A good curveball goes 12-6, almost vertical. Or a slider will go more 2-8, maybe sidearm, 3-8, depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed. But the great curveballs, the old Tom Lasorda curveball, that's where I heard the 12-6 the first time, was virtually off the table.
0-1 to Neal. And when you throw that 3-9 curveball, that's the one you back up third base on.
That's the one that, the guys do a lot of running on 3-9 curveballs around the bases.
Choi down low again with a breaking ball, 1-1. If you just joined us, we're in the top of the second inning with the 4th and 5th seeds in the College World Series. A runner at first and one out. Mike Patrick, Steve Garvey, and Larry Conley with you from Omaha, Nebraska. Glad you could join us. And this is Daniel Choi, the winningest pitcher in college baseball, 16-1. Breaking ball just missed.
Mike, you can see the scouting report of the 49ers coming out. Choi pitched Berrios inside because the scouting report said Berrios has been extending his arms, really driving the ball. Now you can see him pitching Neal away. Neal's been hitting the inside pitch and pulling it. So the 49ers working well against LSU.
Got that one on the outside part of the plate. 2-2.
May set him up with an inside fastball up a little bit this time. May work on his anxiety a little bit.
Choi has already walked a pair and struck out one through an inning and a third. Hit high in the air to right center field. Curtis over will make the easy catch. 2 gone, and Walker retreats to first. Big ballpark, and if you can get him to hit it into the air without the gale blowing out to left or center field, you've got a good chance of getting a put out. Looked like on the last one, Choi got away with a high breaking ball. And this is Adrian Antonini, the 6'3" catcher from Miami, Florida, hitting only .227. He's kept himself in the lineup because of his defensive skills. Wraps this one to short. Rodriguez up for the force at second. So no hits through an inning and a half. We are still scoreless. LSU and Long Beach State 0-0 as we go to the bottom of the second at the College World Series, and we'll be here for the rest of the week. Tomorrow we'll bring you number 3 Texas against 7th seed Oklahoma State, and Sunday we're live at 4 with today's losing teams, and at midnight with today's winners. Monday, games 7 and 8, 4 o'clock live, and then at 12:30 a.m. tape delayed. Tuesday we'll have a live doubleheader for you beginning at 4 o'clock. Wednesday a single game at 4, that's live. Thursday a single game at 7:30, and Friday if necessary. And we've got the College World Series covered for you only on ESPN. It's always one of the most enjoyable trips of the year for the announcers and the crew, and we're delighted to have Steve Garvey with us this year.
A couple of Irishmen in the booth this year. Stephen Patrick Garvey, Mike Patrick.
Kevin Curtis will lead it off for Long Beach State. .370 hitter with 10 home runs. Really should have had more homers this year. Plays in a big ballpark at home, Blair Field. And I know you've been out there, and they say the dew gets very heavy.
It's on a landfill, and what happens because they're close to the ocean, precipitation really starts to foam up as the sun goes down.
Hit down the right field line. Jackson going back in foul territory, and Jackson couldn't quite come up with it. Good effort by Kenny Jackson. And normally the first baseman has the worst shot at it because directly over the head.
That was a long way to go for Jackson, especially for a guy who doesn't have a lot of speed. But Jackson really tracked this ball all the way, and it was just out of his reach. He extends, just goes to the left of his glove. Good effort.
Walker, who was playing Curtis over towards second base, really never had a chance to get there, and Berrios in right field had a long way to come too. 0-2 to Curtis. Hit back up the middle. Walker, nice play. So Tom Walker, the All-American 400 hitter, also shows you a little leather out at second base.
We talk about Walker's offense, but take a look at this. Dives to the ball, gets up quick, throws the runner out. He can play some defense.
Yes, he can. The only problem he has had this year, balls hit directly at him. He'll tend to freeze a little bit. But he is only a sophomore, too. Designated hitter Brian Smith stands in.
Like interesting, Sirac had a no ball 2-strike count on Curtis and threw a fastball right over the plate. He can't afford to do that because his fastballs aren't that strong, maybe 82, 83. Can't let these mental lapses come into your game.
The numbers on Smith, you see him hitting only .259, but he's been hot coming in, and that's what you're looking for. And rips this one to right. Berrios is there. Hit it hard, but right at Harry Berrios, the right fielder. So 2 gone in a hurry. And here's how the Dirtbags made it in the East Regional. Went undefeated, and in the final they knocked off Notre Dame, beating Florida State before that, and a good Mississippi State ball club before that. Dave Snow now in his 5th year. He's won 211 games. And he has Rudy Rodriguez, his shortstop, up there hitting left-handed against the left-hand hitting pitching Sorotka.
Good shot of Dave Snow. His eyes will not leave his players on the field. If they're up to bat, he'll watch his hitter. He'll take a look and see if he's overstriding, dropping his hands. He'll watch what the pitcher's doing. He's a hands-on kind of coach.
And he's been here twice in his 5 seasons at Long Beach State. Rodriguez now faces 1 and 2 as he missed the bunt.
We talked about Rodriguez being the coach on the field for the 49ers, and that indeed he is, because Dave Snow feels that Rodriguez knows the game of baseball. He's going to graduate and one day be a coach, and he said he's pretty sure Rodriguez will bring a team to Omaha in the near future.
Slapped at it and popped it up on the infield. Jason Williams behind third. 3 up, 3 down. Quickly through 2, and there's no score here in Omaha.
I fell in the category where I try to pitch to the hitters. That's not my philosophy anymore. That was my philosophy, but now my objective is to place the ball and play catch with the mitt, and that's been very successful for this season, for my season, and hopefully for the future.
All right, what is the purpose of that philosophy?
Well, I think when you're 16-1, it's a philosophy that's working very, very well.
Yeah.
If you can block out the hitter, and if you have 4 pitchers and can control them, that's a great philosophy. But if you can't control your pitchers rather, and you don't have 4, and you only have a fastball and maybe a little curveball, you need more talent than that.
Choi stares in, and the left fielder Jim Greeley out of Baton Rouge, a homegrown product, will lead it off in the LSU third. Greeley, another player hot coming in. 3 home runs on the year. 2 came in the NCAA South Regional in the same game, and it was his first multiple home run game ever. Didn't get all of this one, and Cradle coming in center field will make the catch. Of course, LSU came through the NCAA South Regional. They lost their 2nd game to Kent, but then bounced back, beat Baylor and South Alabama twice. And look at the offensive output of the Tiger Bats in that series, averaging over 10 runs a ball game. And Skip Bertman has usually gotten it done with pitching and defense, getting a little more hitting this year. He's only won 479 games through 10 years.
Doing something right,
didn't he? And for the 6th time in the last 8 seasons, he has his club in Omaha. Nobody has a better record than that.
Mike, and I'm a firm believer too that these head coaches, you got to remember, they're not managers like professional managers are. They're teachers, and a lot of times they don't have the talent, but they put their system to work and plug in guys, and they win. So in the true essence of the word coach, they are.
Kenny Jackson was quickly behind 0-2, now 1-2 as Choi wasted one. Both teams wanting to get a little offense started. And got him with the inside breaking ball. Very effective to a left-hand hitter. So Jackson is gone. Quickly 2 down here in the LSU third.
Let's take a look at Choi's pitch. Looks good. Nice tight slider. It looks like a strike. Then you go to swing and it breaks down and in. Jackson on top of it. That's the sign of a good tight slider.
Jason Williams up, who walked and then was erased on a double play.
You can see in the first couple innings that the Tigers from LSU are are really trying to hit that ball hard and pull it, but you can't do that against Choi.
This one is hit to straightaway center and will get in there. Cradle into right center, will come up and throw, and exactly what you said. He went with the pitch and hit it hard.
Just about to say, and you got to go with the pitch. You got to hit it where it's thrown, and we'll see here. And it's going to be another tight slider out over the plate. Now Choi doesn't want to throw too many of those, and he hits it right where it's pitched. That's what LSU has to do early in the game against Choi.
Young man enjoying the College World Series experience. Here's Rios, who grounded into that 4-6-3 double play. His first time up with a runner at first and 2 gone. Called strike. Really impressed with Daniel Choi so far. Tremendous command of all of this stuff. Of course, the Big West pitcher of the year. Makes Williams dive back into first.
In simple terms, the Tigers have to beat Choi. He's not going to beat himself. They're going to have to go up there and, like we said, hit the ball where it's pitched, and we might need a bunt here or there, maybe hit and run. Skip Bertman's got to start to get things moving pretty soon. Choi's not going to beat himself.
Foul back. 0-2. So after the first 4 or 5 hitters struggling with his control and walking a couple, Choi has started to get ahead in the count.
Don't look for too much now from Choi. He knows these guys can put the bat on the ball.
Pitch out, but Williams wasn't going anywhere.
That was a good practice pitch out right there. Because LSU really isn't going to run in that situation. But it was good to waste one. Dave Snow giving signals to his catcher. He'll do that throughout the game with just about all of his pitchers.
This one's in the dirt, blocked, but Williams was running, and he's into second base. So Williams gets into scoring position with 2 out, and the count now 2-2 on Rios.
We talked about Watley being one of the great defensive catchers. Here he does an excellent job of blocking the ball, but like a goalie, sometimes he couldn't cover it up soon enough, and the ball got away just enough for the runner to advance.
Got his body in front of it.
Well, he went the whole regional without a ball getting by him. Not a pass ball, just a ball getting by him.
Chopped off the right side. First baseman Swanson comes up, tosses to Rios. And the first base hit of the ball game cannot produce a run. We've gone through 2.5 scoreless. When you become a coach or a scout, it's mandatory that instead of just saying left-hander, you say crafty left-hander. It becomes one word.
Right.
Unless you have a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, you're a crafty left-hander.
It's not even
right?
hyphenated. It's just crafty
right.
left-hander with a Y and the L just blend right in together.
And I don't remember having a right-handed batter or a pitcher being described as crafty.
No right-hander has ever been crafty. The hard-throwing right-hander, something like that.
0-1 to Sean Davison leading off the bottom of the third.
And this guy is really an emotional catalyst for the 49ers. He may not look intense right now. We're going to focus in his face in a minute, but he's the guy that gets the team going with his emotions.
He went after the bunt and didn't get it. I'll tell you how intense he is. He'll take one for the club. He's been hit 19 times this year.
And he said they were all legitimate.
Yeah.
Oops, I didn't get out of the way.
He's taken a couple in the head and not ducked, we're told.
I wonder if those glasses are unbreakable glass. If I was him, I'd be wearing the unbreakable ones.
The 0-2 is outside from Mike Sorotka. Davison played at Sacramento Community College. Like so many of the players on this Long Beach State club, played at a junior college or a community college before coming to Dave Snow, who lost so many players in the last couple of years. Breaking ball foul away. And he has really done a fine job at putting this club together. Guys who didn't know each other, who haven't played together, and here they are in the College World Series with a chance to win it all.
Well, we talked about that too. That's a good way to get experienced guys immediately injected into your system instead of saying, well, we're going to rebuild this year. This way he can stay competitive at the highest college level.
Strike 3 called outside corner at the knees. And Tom Jenkins, the home plate umpire, rung him up. And Davidson with a little wry smile as he goes back to the bench.
Davidson has that smile like there must have been an easement on this strike zone. As you could see that this ball curves around the plate. Let's take a look from up above. Oh my,
yeah.
It's not even inside the white line of the batter's box. So our umpire at home plate has allowed just a little bit of girth to sneak into a strike zone right now.
And you can bet Sorotka will take advantage of that too. He'll move it as far outside as they'll let him.
Oh, as a typical pitcher, he's going to say, well, if it's there, I'll go a little farther and test the waters out there.
26 pitches so far. 21 have been strikes from the senior left-hander. I guess we ought to get with the program and call him crafty too.
Oh, he's definitely crafty.
Thrown only 5 balls through 3 innings. This one's hit to third. Jason Williams with a nice hop. Throws across and got him. 2 gone. Check in with Larry Conley. Larry?
Thanks, Mike. I've got Sandy Bertram here, and obviously you and Skip, I think you ought to be paying residence taxes out here. 6 out of the last 8 years, a national championship in '91.
We're really thrilled to be here. We always are. Omaha's a great city, and last year when we didn't come, we went through withdrawal in Baton Rouge. We really love it here.
From the coach's wife's perspective, is this team as good as the '91 team?
I think so. The same kind of team, really. Just a lot of spunky kids and great together. You know, they get along well together. It's really an exciting team.
Well, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Mike, Steve?
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Okay, we just saw a beautiful lady. She's got 4 gorgeous daughters. Today I was going through the lobby of the hotel. Sandy says hi. I'm talking to her. She says, you know, I don't stay with Skip here. I said, pardon me? She said, I stay in another suite. I said, you're kidding me. I said, what are you, lobbying for a trip to Hawaii after this? So then I started to walk. I thought, I wonder what he does after curfew. I wonder if the kids check on him after curfew. But she says he likes to concentrate and focus. She doesn't want to distract him. And she's a wonderful lady, kind, loving, and understanding.
And that is coaching dedication, isn't it?
That's true.
Tim Falskin to straightaway center field. Armando Rios makes the easy play. 1 hit for both ball clubs combined through 3. Top of the 4th, LSU and Long Beach State, 0-0. Game number 2 of the opening day of the College World Series. Let's take a look at what happened in game number 1. And Cinderella gave Texas A&M all it could handle for a long time before falling 5-1. Granger, not the dominant pitcher that he had been most of the year, but scattered 6 hits and allowed only 1 run during his 8 innings of work. So Texas A&M advances, and we will see Kansas on Sunday afternoon. Russ Johnson, the shortstop, will lead it off for LSU in the 4th. He flew to center field in the 1st.
Okay, we talked about the first game and the first few innings, everybody being tentative. Well, it's the top of the 4th now, and it's time for things to start happening here.
Good fastball that time from Choi. And when you throw all the breaking pitches he does, that fastball looks a little quicker when he comes in with it.
Well, he's got an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, and it just looked 92 because he's been really breaking the balls off to the Tiger hitters.
Just like that. He's staying really on top of his breaking ball. And it's got some real bite to it.
As long as he keeps that elbow up. Once that elbow starts to drop, that's when it flattens out. So we'll keep watching him as the game goes on.
The 0-2 pitch, chopped back up the middle. This will be a tough play. The shortstop Rodriguez can't come up with it. I don't think he would have had Russ Johnson anyway.
That simply was a well-placed hit. There was no way that ball was going to come up for Rodriguez, and there was no way he was going to throw it out, even if he fielded it cleanly.
Second hit for LSU.
Well, watch Rodriguez. He goes down for the ball. He really has to try to go down and get rid of it in one motion and doesn't come up with it, but a legitimate hit.
And this sets the table for Walker, who walked his first time up. 398 hitter, 19 home runs, 90 RBIs. Got a good swing at this one. Hits it off the right side. They'll go to second for the force and got him. Nice play by Martins, who ranged to his left and then turned and made the tough throw.
Good job by Martins. Went to second like all good second basemen should do. And Rodriguez extended himself, stayed on the bat.
Berrios 0 for 1 was called out on strikes. He comes up with now a runner at first and 1 gone here in the fourth. Both pitchers, as you look at Choi, have shown great poise through the first part of this game.
Let's watch and see if Choi pitches Berrios inside again. He did a great job last time of keeping the ball on his hands. We talked about that scouting report. Berrios likes that ball out and over the plate.
Took the big cut and didn't get it.
A lot of times with very good hitting teams, if they don't get some hits early, they start to get frustrated, and a pitcher can widen that strike zone on them, and they'll be up there swinging because they like to hit the ball. They like to score runs. They don't like to walk.
Breaking ball, and it hit the bat. Now Berrios wanted the free pass, but it looked like it hit right on the end of the bat. And Skip Bertman is going to come out to complain about it.
Well, normally you'd grab your hand if a ball that was going 78, 80 miles an hour hits your hand. Skip Bertman arguing with the umpire. But let's take a look at it. Choi throws that curveball up, and he just doesn't look like it hit him in the tricep.
I tell you what he's saying. He's saying he didn't try to get out of the way of it.
Now that's always a questionable call right there. If you're a hitter, sometimes you're expecting it to break and it doesn't, and it hits you. That's not your fault.
Yeah, but I'll say this about Berrios. He did sort of throw that arm out at the ball.
He chicken winged it a little bit, sure.
And he didn't get away with it. Tom Jenkins, the home plate umpire, is going to win the argument every time. The 2-1 ripped to short. Rodriguez to Martins to Swanson. And the one-hop shot turns into a double play. So LSU had something going, but they're scoreless through 4. Long Beach State coming up in the bottom of the fourth. We are scoreless in the second game of the College World Series. We hope you will continue to be with us for the Stanley Cup Finals. Tomorrow, as the scene shifts to Los Angeles, and Wayne Gretzky and the Kings will take aim at Patrick Roy and the Canadiens in Game 3. The series now tied at 1. The last game, of course, went to overtime. Hope you'll watch it at 8:30 Eastern, only on ESPN. And even if you're not a hockey fan, at this time of the year, it gets to be a lot of fun, especially with a great goaltender.
Was that a great game last night?
Sensational.
Less than 2 minutes to go. Montreal ties it up with a 6-on-4 goal.
Sorotka has retired the first 9, and he's going to Kobe Cradle, who popped out to short in the first inning. And Cradle good enough to have 2 nicknames.
Well, this is unique. This is a man who is 2 platooning nicknames. He's known as the Cobra at the plate and the Spider in the field. He coils up at the plate, and then in the field, Spider, what does a spider do?
Catches everything.
Catches flies, of course.
Sorotka quickly ahead, 0-2. Takes the breaking pitch to dead center field. Rios coming hard, can't come up with it. And into second base goes Cradle. Rios, who can be a spectacular center fielder, gave it the big try, but could not come up with a shoestring catch.
Rios, who's made the big catches at the big time all year for LSU, tries to make a great catch. Comes in, hits his glove, then he goes on top of it and throws it back towards the infield with his stomach. Watch this. He had it, then he knocks it back towards the infield. Cradle makes a good turn and goes into second easily. Look at this, in the glove, bounces up, hits his thigh, comes back, and I'm not so sure that his arm or wrist isn't hurting because he really landed hard on it. That's a sprained wrist type of play.
And they'll try to bunt him over. Martins with the sacrifice. And Cradle is into third with one gone. So Long Beach State trying to get a run out of their first hit off of Mike Sorotka. And I was going to say, when the inning began, in a game like this, as you look at Rios flexing that wrist, and I think you're absolutely right, Steve, but the pressure begins to mount on each pitcher the longer we get into a scoreless ball game, not to give up that one big hit or the one run, because one could beat you.
Well, what it does is it's that big released breath of air for the team that scores the first time. Now there's pressure on the Tiger defense.
John Swanson trying to pick up the RBI and send his club ahead here.
Like, this Tiger defense is not as good as Skip Bertman has had in years past, and he talked about that. They're solid, but they've had some problems this year on defense.
The infield is in. Hit towards second base. The play at the plate, and they've got him hung up. Chasing back toward third. And they'll finally make the play. They gave Swanson time to get down to second base.
Cradle does a good job of forcing at least 4 throws on this rundown, and almost gets a piece of Antonini in the rundown, which was pretty smart and a good try by Cradle. We'll take a look now. Just a little one hopper at second. Martins comes in. Here's Walker in. They move him down. He does a good job of forcing one throw. Misses Antonini. Now another. Now he works him down. He allows the runner to get to second. Good job by Cradle.
If you're scoring, it's 4-2 to 5-1. And you can see that everybody did a real good job of showing their teammates the ball.
Kept the ball up in the hand. That's what you want. They didn't fake any throws. They kept it up, which is very important in rundowns.
Kevin Curtis, who was thrown out on a spectacular play by Todd Walker his first time up. 2 gone, and Swanson down at second here in the bottom of a scoreless 4-inning game.
What we just saw was a rundown play that makes the difference in short series like this, double elimination series. You have to do all the fundamentals well. You have to operate the rundowns. You've got to hit the cutoff man. You've got to bunt the guys over. If you do all the fundamentals well, you're going to make it a long way in this College World Series. And that's why Skip Bertman and his team won 2 years ago. Sure, they had great offense and good athletes, but they did all the little things well that allowed them to win.
Exactly, and it's unusual to see it at this level because we're talking about 18 and 19-year-old kids for the most part. When you watch a major league game and they don't execute the fundamentals, it's a little mind-blowing.
But, you know, that's the easiest thing you can do is teach the youngsters the fundamentals.
Sure.
After that, the ability to hit a round ball with a round bat squarely consistently, that takes some God-given talent and work, etc. That's why the guys make $5, $6, $7 million. But the fundamentals, anybody can do with good coaching and practice.
Soroka misses outside. 2-0 to Curtis.
Now, this is really the first crucial count as far as I'm concerned in this game. Curtis is a good hitter, good flat swinger, makes contact, hits the ball where it's pitched, and Soroka's behind.
Of course, on deck is a .259 hitter in Brian Smith. Curtis a .370 hitter. So Soroka doesn't want to give him an intentional pass, but he may not be too upset to lose him either.
Pitching around him is the old term, but there comes a point where you want to lose your rhythm and your strike zone too. You got to be careful about that, especially with young pitchers.
Got this one over the strike zone line right at Berrios. Drilled to the right fielder. So another threat goes wanting. Scoreless through 4. We go to the top of the 5th. LSU no runs on 2 hits. Long Beach State no runs on 1 hit. And now it's time to play Do You Know This Man?
Oh my, look at that smile on that youngster.
These are old pictures, aren't they?
Oh.
And who's this?
I used to punish those defensive backs. Unfortunately, he became one.
And there's the one that a lot of people have in those plastic folders
My rookie
and are
card.
hoping for autographs, and that's us. Welcome back to Omaha. Mike Patrick, Steve Garvey, Larry Conley with us. He is downstairs. Glad you could join us for the College World Series, and we've had a good one so far. Fast-paced game. We go to the top of the 5th, and it's 0-0. Didn't think those things still existed, did you?
I have a couple of them laying around.
Mike Neal comes up. He flied to right field in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1.
But you know, a lot of colleges do that now with players who have gone on to the professional ranks. A lot of alumni associations put out a series of cards, and it's a good way to raise money for their association.
Sure. And memorabilia being what it is. Neal, as you can see, has done a fine job of getting on base for the Tigers. Both pitchers just sailing along so far. A couple of balls have been hit hard, but for the most part, right at somebody.
It's amazing how that happens with good pitchers.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they may be 16-1 or 10-5, and you still hit the ball at those guys that are out in the field for the last 130 years.
Yeah. Somebody knew what they were doing when they figured this out in the first place.
Good position.
Choi came inside with that one. The fly to straightaway right, and Curtis is there. Neal is gone. 1 out in the 5th. The other thing is the scouting reports, and time after time you see a guy hit a bullet and it's right at somebody. They knew exactly where to point him. But that's a combination of the pitcher throwing the right pitch in the right place too,
and the infielders adjusting to the pitch and to the hitter. And I'll talk about that in a minute with the great infielder of the Dodgers.
Antonini 0 for 1 is now 0-1. Bounced into a forced play first time up.
Here's a young man that you really have to like. Lovable, great smile. Talked to him yesterday. Couldn't wait to get to today's game and go up there swinging, and he has. First 2 pitches thrown to him, he went up there hacking. His philosophy is you can't get on base. He's not going to steal his way up. Well, that makes a statement. Rodriguez is back on the grass. I don't think believes Antonini has any speed.
Popped down the first base line, twisting foul, and nobody can get there. Yeah, when you see the shortstop playing shallow left field, you better hit it to the right side.
It was always disappointing for me when that happened. But you know what I used to do after my first couple of years is I started bunting. And everybody thought, well, Garvey's a power hitter, line drive kind of guy. So they played back, and all of a sudden I was getting 12 to 15 bunt hits a year. And that would mean another 20, 25 points to my average. Then they started playing in more, and I got more hits by him, and it ended up being 30 points in my average. So I can adjust to these things.
1 and 2 to Antonini. Daniel Choi in control.
Antonini, a big Tom Lasorda fan. He met Tom at a banquet at LSU, and Tom took him under his wing.
Isn't everybody?
Must be Italian.
And Chase the pitch in the dirt. Watley will throw him out at first.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a look at this swing, and then hopefully we'll get a look at Antonini running down the base path. Here's Choi, crafty as ever, low slider. Anthony misses it by about 18 inches, but he's being aggressive. And now he's got to run to first base. And he starts out on the outside of the line, and then he runs a little Z pattern.
Greeley hits it hard to the third baseman Falskin, knocks it down, and it doesn't have a play. Falskin is a very good infielder as far as fundamentals, and he really solidified the defense when he came in at third, but he'll get the error on this play.
Tim's a good hard-nosed third baseman. I know he's upset with himself, but he got in front of it. There's only so much you can do. Hits off the palm of his glove and then gets too far away, and by the time he looks up, there's no chance at first.
Kenny Jackson struck out swinging his first time up. That was a called strike on the outside part of the plate. 2 gone, top of the 5th in a scoreless ball game for the Tigers of LSU.
E5. That's what drove me to first base. I still have nightmares of E5 on scoreboards around America.
Choi got that one up, slapped on the ground toward Martins at second. He goes for the force. And we are quickly through 4.5. Still no score. Back in a minute.
This is a family show. I got a story for you.
You saw him recently.
Well, they have these, it used to be called old timers games, and thankfully they've changed them to heroes of baseball for us guys.
Or you wouldn't have played.
I'm facing him a year ago in Houston, and he's trying to strike me out. He threw me a screwball away, curveball in, 3-2 the count. He tries to throw a fastball by me, and I hit it to left for a single. I told him, you never struck me out when we played in the majors. Why would you want to do it now?
Well, he's never going to give up. You know that.
Oh, no. He can't wait to face me in somewhere along the road this year.
Brian Smith 0 for 1 line to Barrios, his first time up. And Sorotka had 1 and 2. Smith struggled a lot of the year with his balance, and they said they really worked with him not to pull off and jerk his shoulder out of there when he swings, and he's been hot lately.
Well, he's doing a very good job at that right now. He's keeping that shoulder tucked in. Keep an eye on his left shoulder. Watch how he pulls it back.
Stayed on that one and hits another screamer right at Walker. So he starts the ball twice in a row, and it's a terribly discouraging thing for a hitter to finally get his stride and then hit a couple of atom balls.
If Brian Smith keeps doing this, he is going to get a lot of hits in this World Series, because this is what you teach a hitter to do, to go with the pitch. Tuck that left shoulder, left knee. He takes it and just hits a screamer to second base, put right at Walker.
Rudy Rodriguez, the shortstop, popped up his first time. The 49ers have a single hit through 4 1/3. LSU through 5 at bats, only 2 hits. Rodriguez takes a called strike.
Here's the guy that really is the glue on this 49er team. Going gets tough. They look at Rodriguez, and he'll give him that look of confidence, or he'll build him up. He never gets on anybody. He just keeps that positive reinforcement with the whole team. So we talked about the duck that's walking and all the ducks are behind him.
Yeah.
Well, he's the big duck on this dirtbag team.
And if you just joined us, we are saying dirtbags affectionately. That's what they call themselves. We don't want to get any letters or telegrams. Officially, it's the 49ers, but they claim dirtbags.
It's a felt dirtbag with very light dust.
Rodriguez with that open stance and then strides toward the plate.
Any team but a Southern California team, you would think would be the dirtbags.
Right.
The Long Beach quiche eaters or something like that. The sushi bombers, but not the dirtbags.
Sorotka misses with a breaking ball, 2-2. Rodriguez, the kind of player that managers and coaches love to have. He redshirted in '92 because they had a better shortstop than him, and he wanted to come back and play his 5th season, and had a chance to go other places, including Texas, to play if he wanted to, and said no, he loved it with Long Beach State and he was going to stay there.
Don't you like that loyalty?
And it ate him up too. I mean, if he's the kind of competitor you were, wants to play every day, every game there is, and for him to sit there and watch, and sometimes he couldn't. He wouldn't come out to watch the games. .3-2 and fouled it off his foot.
Is another example of a good pitcher, a guy who keeps moving the ball, especially on left-handed hitters. When you're a left-handed pitcher and you hit the ball into your ankle and your foot. We'll take a look at Sorotka in a few minutes here. We'll break down his delivery a little bit, but he's very compact, good arm action.
He's just been sensational since the regional started. 2 shutouts there, or 2 victories, and a 1.29 earned run average. Hasn't given up a run here.
Let's take a look at Sorotka. See the balance, good knee kick. Then he comes in, really extends himself, keeps the elbow, keeps the eyes right on the catcher's mitt.
Rodriguez foul tips and he's gone. The 3rd strikeout for Mike Sorotka.
Let's watch Soroka now. We talked about his balance. Watch the stride. Elbows up. Fastball cuts right in on the inside half of the plate. Rodriguez is gone.
Davison struck out his first time up. Will come up with nobody on and 2 out here in the 5th.
If you notice that Choi and Soroka are using that fastball a little more now. They both have the same game plan. Let's tease them a little with a fastball in the first inning, first couple batters to establish, and then let's go to the breaking ball. Now let's set them up and get the fastball, run the fastball by them, cut the fastball. 2 smart pitchers.
As they're going through the lineup the second time, and then when you come up the third time, you have no clue what to look for.
It's a constant game of adjustment for the pitcher and for the hitter. If the hitter hits you, you adjust to him. If the pitcher gets you out, what did he get you out on? Where was the location? Okay, the next time, once you get 2 strikes, so 1 and 2, 2 and 2, he's going to come back there and go again. Why not? He's gotten you out once there. Why not do it again? Now you adjust.
0-1 from Soroka. And Davison with a swing and a miss. Davison is one of those very emotional players, and he does something strange that most hitters won't do. He will come up and vary his stance depending on how he feels and how aggressive he wants to be.
Well, he's a ballroom hitter. You know, tango one time, waltzes the next. You know, but he's been successful at it. Unfortunately, he can't go past his level that way.
Fouls this one back out of play.
You know, Mike, when you talk about guys that are emotional, you know, and aggressive, it's amazing that a lot of times these are the guys that have the little beards and goatees. You know, they have it in the eyes, too. They wear wraparound sunglasses. They're just a little different.
Image is everything.
That's right. That's a Southern California look, definitely. At the Oakleys.
This one's hit high in the air to straightaway center, and Rios drifting back a little bit and has it. So another outstanding inning for Soroka. We're scoreless through 5. Top of the 6th, and we're still scoreless. LSU has had a base runner in each inning, but they haven't been able to capitalize on Daniel Choi. And we go to the top of the 6th. In a pitcher's duel, and here is the comparison between the two. The numbers pretty similar, and both have had tremendous command and great poise.
3 strikeouts apiece. 2 base on balls by Choi, none by Soroka. Both of them good commands of their pitches.
Choi walked his early, very early in the ball game, and since then hasn't issued a pass to anyone.
He knows he has to mix up his pitches against this Tiger team who can, at any time, 6 or 7 guys can put the ball out of the ballpark. So we'll probably see a few more fastballs, and we'll see a few more changeups from Daniel Choi.
Jason Williams, the leadoff man, a walk and a single. Fastball at the knees.
I love those forearms.
It was your trademark.
Lots of hair, good size.
Rodriguez at short, throws him out on a routine play.
There he is, the heart and soul of the 49ers team. Leader on the infield. He looks experienced, Mike. He looks like he's been at. Looks like a shortstop that's played there ever since he was 6 or 7. Couple of strings hanging down from the glove.
Armando Rios, who has grounded out twice, takes one in the dirt. I think Rodriguez does something that every team needs to have out of a shortstop. He may not make the spectacular plays, but he makes all the routine plays. You can count on him.
I played with a great one that way too, Billy Russell. They used to say, oh, you know, he goes in the hole, he throws the ball, you know, down in the dirt. It's the best thing I could do. Put the ball out of the dirt. He made the easy plays. That's why we won.
Martins comes up with it. So 2 quick groundouts here in the LSU 6th inning, and Russ Johnson comes up.
One last thought on Rodriguez for this half inning. You don't get this far without a very good shortstop. Precisely. And we've got 2 great ones here. And there's one right there. A fellow that makes all the plays, great range, good arm, and a leader at his position.
And Rodriguez still playing back on the grass at short for Johnson, who is 1 for 2. Single off of Rodriguez's glove in the 4th.
Talk about Rodriguez being on the grass, but he does one thing against Rios or against Johnson that he didn't do against Antonini, is he moves into the dirt. He's moving. He's getting his body ready. He's getting motion towards the batter.
Antonini, he may have backed up a step.
Yeah, that's right. He may go back a step farther next time. Antonini's, he's going to hit the ball hard this game, I know.
1-1, a fastball ripped towards short. Rodriguez comes up. 3 ground balls in the inning, and Choi has scattered a couple of singles through 6. Quickly to the bottom of the 6th inning at the College World Series. LSU and Long Beach State are scoreless. And the 49ers trying to get something started here in the bottom of the 6th. The 8 and 9 hitters, and then the leadoff man, Kobe Cradle. This is Brian Watley, grounded out to 3rd, his first time up. This kid is a better hitter than his numbers would indicate. 351 a year ago. He had 364 in the East Regional. He got off to a terrible start at the beginning of this season and hit under 200 for the first 6 weeks of the year. And once you're down that low, it makes it very difficult to bring it back up no matter what you do.
But he's had a late season surge, and he's been hitting the ball very, very well.
Like that, ripped inside the line into the corner. Greeley chasing it down. Watley on his way to second, and he's in with a stand-up double.
I got time here.
Okay, we talked about this at the break now. Both pitchers we anticipated throwing good games. Now you're in the last third of the game, and I don't think they're going to make a bad pitch and a home run's going to beat you, but it's going to be execution of defense that'll win this game. Let's take a look at Watley. Great hand action. It extends through. Watch this. Short stride. Unloads on the ball, gets the hands through, brings the hands in so the head of the bat turns over, and that's how you hit a ball down the line right-handed and hook it.
Really turned on an inside fastball, and he's at second with nobody out for Falskin, who flied to center field, and they're anticipating the bunt from Falskin, the number 9 hitter. He's looking into the dugout to Dave Snow to see what he wants to do.
And Dave Snow is let's take a look at the defense first. Both corners are in. Second and short, normal depth. I'm going to keep that runner as close to second base as possible. But this is definitely a bunt situation.
Pops it up, and it dies. They'll go to third. They've got him hung up, threw it away. Watley will score, and Falskin goes into second base.
This is what we just talked about. With 2 great pitchers, defense usually decides the game. And this was a case where the runner held up, really going to third base. He thought he was caught in a rundown. Then Sorotka throws the ball into the dirt. It can't be picked up, and all of a sudden it's 1-0 with no out, and now a runner at second base again.
Really, Falskin got a break. He popped this one up and had it fall in a perfect place.
He did. Here's a good bite. This is a little wedge shot. Watch it die. Soroka throws. Now he throws a cut fastball into the dirt. It can't be picked up, and Watley scores.
So Kobe Cradle comes up. No sacrifice on the play. It's an error on Sorotka. So 1-0 Long Beach State, bottom of the 6th, and Cradle, who is 1 for 2 and a double, comes up.
The Cobra looking in for the signs. Definitely a bunt situation. First base is in more than third base at this time.
Of course, if you're Long Beach State, you'd like to see him bunt it toward third to make the third baseman Williams come in.
But with a lefty, he falls off to the third base side. You've got a left-handed first baseman, which is a plus for LSU at this time. But the third baseman is back. What Cradle has to do is he's got to push it down that third base line, even with Soroka being a left-hander.
Cradle with very good speed. If he can get it down, he'd have a chance to beat it out as well as the sacrifice. That'll roll foul.
I'm surprised the Tigers haven't put on a play at second base at this time. There are 2 or 3 different defensive plays. You can have the shortstop going to third baseman coming in, second baseman going to the bag. You can have a count by the catcher and a whirl and throw back to second base.
2-1 on Cradle, and Sorotka trying to work out of a jam. Cradle pushes this one foul.
This is a case of a batter trying to be too fine. He may even be thinking to himself, if I get it right down the line with my speed, I may be able to beat it out. You can't think like that. You've got to say, I've got to sacrifice myself right now, get the ball fair, get it on to the grass, past the pitcher. He's bunted it hard enough, but he hasn't kept it fair. Now he's got to swing away. Now Sorotka's got the advantage.
And Cradle now would like to get it on the ground to the right side to advance Falston.
Just to crowd the plate.
And had the right ideas. He slapped it foul outside of first.
Now if you're a hitter, you can dictate to the pitcher. You can crowd the plate. And now the pitcher's, I know he wants to pull the ball. I got to get it out. You can almost force him to throw the ball to you. Because he wants to get the strike. He doesn't want to get the walk. He wants to get the ball over the plate.
2-2. Sorotka has fanned 3. Make it 4. Great pitch.
My. This was a fastball right down Powder River, as they say. Knee high on Cradle. And it just froze him. He was looking for probably a slider. Tried to bend down, tried to squeeze a little bit, but that was a perfect strike.
Eric Martins comes up with 2 out. He is 0 for 1, plus a sacrifice. Excuse me, 1 out. With Falston at second base and a run home. No pitch. The home plate umpire Tom Jenkins called time. It's his first College World Series. He's working with 2 other first-year umpires, as you see Skip Bertman calling out the signals he wants to Sorotka and what kind of defense he wants out there. Antonini, the best defensive catcher in the Southeastern Conference this year. Hit off the fist to short Johnson. Now they have the runner hung up. Boy, that's a big base running mistake by Falston. The play right in front of him, and he just took off.
You can't let that happen. As a base runner, you're going to take your team out of an inning by doing that. That's lack of concentration. And Dave Snow now he's telling his catcher, you can't do that. If the ball's in front of you, you got to get back to the bag. You can't be in no man's land. Now it takes the runner off second base, puts the guy at first. Now you need at least a double to drive him in.
Martins at first with 2 gone now for John Swanson. Throw over to first. Johnson lined out and grounded out. The East Regional MVP for his ball club. And Sorotka was the MVP of the South Region. So 2 All-Stars facing each other right now with 2 out in the 6th, and Long Beach State on top of LSU 1-0.
49ers might really have the Tigers on the ropes.
Yeah. Especially the way Choi has been pitching. You give either one of these guys a 1-run lead, and it looks like 4.
And 2 looks like 8.
Yeah.
It's a multiples game at this point.
The 3 straight home runs were 3 of his 5 on the season. Really paying attention to Martins over at first base. He had 13 steals and 18 tries this year.
Picked his spots very well this year when he decided to run, a lot like Davey Lopes, my old teammate with the Dodgers. Davey was an excellent base stealer, but really picked good times. See, this is where you got to be aggressive. In a game like this, 49ers now have a run. I'd think about letting him go. Think about sending him. Put the pressure on the Tiger defense.
Swanson with a big cut and didn't get it.
Got a tough lefty against a left-handed hitter. Left-handed hitter is going to block out Antonini a little bit. Even though Antonini's got a great arm, you got to be aggressive. See if LSU can come back with one swing. I'm not so sure the 49ers can do that as easily.
Runner goes, pitch low and outside. Here's the throw, and they got it. So they tried to do exactly what you said and ran themselves into the third out of the inning on the good throw by Antonini. We played 6 full at the College World Series. 1-0 49ers.
Jack Deasing Sr. has been a tireless volunteer and chairman of the College World Series for 30 years. During that period, he has amassed his own personal collection of memorabilia that he proudly displays in his home. And now, once again, he makes the trek to Rosenblatt Stadium to witness his handiwork for the last 3 decades over this prestigious event.
Thank you very much, Larry. Larry, of course, with us reporting down from field level, was not only a great college basketball player at Kentucky, but was a baseball player and went on to coach baseball at George Washington. So he knows a lot about this game.
With those long arms.
And here is Todd Walker, the superstar left-hander who walked and hit into a force out, 0 for 1. Against Daniel Choi, who is now trying to hold on to a 1-run lead in the 7th.
Mike, this is the time for the Stars to shine. It's the 7th inning. The Tigers are the visiting team. They've got 9 outs.
Walker, of course, with 19 homers, followed by Berrios, who has 17 on the season.
Tigers are in pretty good shape as far as their order is concerned. They're leading off with 2 quality guys now who probably will get up again in the 9th.
Big cut, didn't get it, 1 and 2.
You know, that cut reminds me a little bit of Will Clark, and so does Walker.
Yeah.
You know, Will started, once he got into the major leagues, a little longer swing. He knew the wind was blowing out in Candlestick Park, and Walker has signs of Will Clark in his swing.
Choi a little high. Because people were trying to protect Walker at the start of this year because he had such a great freshman season. Hit 400, and they were saying, gee, I don't think he can do it again. I don't see how he can improve on that season. Well, he hasn't. He's only hitting .398, but he has 19 home runs and 90 RBIs. Hits this one hard, but on the ground to Eric Martins at second, and a routine 4-3 put out, 1 gone here in the 7th.
2 thoughts on your comments, Mike. Number 1, yes, he did. He put back-to-back seasons at a very difficult level when it's easy to pitch around you. The other thought is you're only as good as the guy hitting behind you. That was my feeling. Ron Say hit behind me, Dusty Baker. It always seemed like I saw better pitchers to hit.
And Berrios has protected him this year. Berrios been called out on strikes and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play.
Let's take a look. We have a center field camera shot that I think is just great. You do a great job with this, but watch how the catcher will shift and set up from time to time.
Fastball missed outside.
For our viewers, what Choi is doing now, as he has done all game against Berrios, he's pitching him away. Set him up inside early. Now he's pitching him away.
3-0. Choi, who issued 2 walks early, has been in total command since then, but falls behind the big man. Berrios, 5'11", 200 pounds, very solidly built. Ahead in the count, 3-0.
Watley's a little like Pena. Just squats back there. Just gives a good target. That goes along with Choi's philosophy of throwing to the mitt. He's focused in. I like the guys that bend that hat. You see those eyes just focused in there. They want all distractions away from their line of sight.
Fastball on 3-1, hit to third. Falskin throws across. Swanson makes the grab. Let's go back to Larry Conley. Larry?
Thanks, Mike. I've got a fixture here in Omaha. Jack Deasling Sr., who has been chairman of the College World Series for 30 years. And, Jack, you probably witnessed a lot of changes here over those 30 years.
Oh, yes. I've watched many changes. When I first started here, it was a 5-day program, and they started at 10 o'clock in the morning and ran 3 sessions each day. And over the years, it's grown with the help of the NCAA We moved many of these sessions to the evening, and now it goes for 10 days, and it's a terrific thing. The people of Omaha really support it. They support it real good, and it's the people of Omaha that do such a fine job in making it such a great event. There are a lot of volunteers that work on it. There's over 200 volunteers that work on the College World Series. None of them get paid at all, and they just work on it for the fun of working on it and enjoying it, and they think the College World Series is the greatest thing there is.
Okay, Mike, that's the College World Series. This is the man that helped build it.
Deep to right center, Mike Neal spanks one about 375 feet. One skip against the wall. Curtis gets it back in, but Neal with his first hit of the night, a stand-up double.
Neal's the captain of this LSU team, the quiet captain, and he answers the call right now with the Tigers behind, takes a fastball over the plate, little up for Choi, extends his arms, gets good backspin. That's why this ball carries farther than you would think, but not far enough to go out of the park. One hops the wall. The 49ers get it back in to hold Neal to a double.
19th double of the year for Neal, and here is Antonini, struck out and grounded out.
Watch the catcher. He taps his outside leg, shifts on the outside to Antonini, who's a pull hitter.
Choi hung a breaking ball inside.
It's 2 pitches in a row now that Choi has gotten the ball up too high for this Tiger team, who can really drive the ball. They're pretty good high ball hitters. That's how they can extend the arms and really drive it. Now Dave Snow's going out because he's seen what we've seen up here.
So exactly,
and our audience has seen the same thing. You can do that one every 3 or 4 pitches, but when you do back-to-back, now Snow says, okay, I've got to go out, I've got to talk to him, I've got to tell him, okay, you're dropping that elbow and you're pushing the ball a little bit, stay on top, maybe shorten the stride a little bit, because Choi he's got a long stride. He's lanky. He reminds me a little bit of Tom Seaver, who used to really stride out and drop that back knee down. And when Choi gets in trouble with his control, it's because his stride is longer and his elbow is dropped down, and he pushes the ball instead of throwing it.
Snow finished with his conversation and goes back to the dugout. Neal down at second, only the second Tiger to reach that far in this ball game against Daniel Choi, who has a 2.37 ERA and a 16-1 record, the best in the country right now, trying to put out a fire in the top of the 7th inning, leading 1-0. Breaking ball. If you can throw him in that spot, nobody hits it.
If we remember last time when he faced Antonini, struck him out on a slider low and away. Antonini wasn't within 18 inches of it. Now if Adrian can think, that's how he got me out last time. Oh, he just threw me there again. Make him pitch me inside where my strength is.
And he comes inside with a breaking ball and got it on the corner.
Now when you set him up like that, you got to swing at it.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. See, he's not going to see that pitch again.
If he's thinking that way, I think he's going to see the one outside in the dirt again right here.
Well, he can waste one more ball. He may throw a big floppy curve or something, but he's setting him up.
There it is in the dirt, and Antonini laid off of this one.
See, he could waste it even farther out than he wants to throw it. Now he says to himself, okay, Choi's looking up at the scoreboard. It's 2-2, 2 out. The outside half of this plate is mine. Now I'll throw the tighter slider or maybe the bigger curve that'll get him off balance, just to guarantee that he won't drive the ball.
Runner at second, 2 out. LSU has had 3 hits. They haven't produced a run. Breaking ball, nice block by Watley, the runner going to third, and a nice block by Falskin on the low throw by the catcher.
Watley did a good job of blocking this ball, but he should have never thrown it to third base. We've already seen what happens when you throw the ball to third base in a tight situation.
He didn't have a chance to get it.
No chance at all. This is where you got to stay under control. He blocks it very well. Unfortunately, the ball ricochets too far away, and now he tries to get him out, but there's no chance. Falskin does a good job of blocking it.
You can see Falskin was trying to tell him not to throw it.
No,
don't do it. So the tying run 90 feet away with 2 out in the LSU 7th, 3-2 to Adrian Antonini.
Sets up outside
and draws the walk, the third of the ball game from Daniel Choi. So the lead run is on at first.
Choi's thinking to himself right now, okay, Coach Snow came out here. My control's a little off. I lost the guy I should have got. As you see, took a mouthful of air and just blew it out. Now, Coach Snow has worked with him about, in tight situations, releasing that air, taking a deep breath, letting it out, staying loose.
Jim Greeley 0 for 2 so far. And Choi nearly threw that one away right over Greeley's head. And Watley wants to go out to talk to him.
Okay, what he's done now is he's still thinking about Antonini. He's saying, I lost the guy I should have got. Now I'm going to throw it harder, and he tries to overpower it, and he almost hits Greeley in the head. Now Watley's going out there saying, okay, calm down, relax. Forget about the runner at first. He's not going to steal. The runner at third is not going anyplace. Concentrate on the hitter. You've got 2 outs. You're the best pitcher in the country. You're the best pitcher I've ever seen. Just look at me and throw to the mitt.
And this is the biggest jam he's been in right after his club gets him a 1-run lead.
Watley looks at Snow, gets the sign, sets up outside.
Fouled off the right side. 1-1 to senior Jim Greeley out of Baton Rouge.
And it came back with a good pitch that time. That was a good fastball, had something on it. He had much better control of his body that time. Didn't overstride.
Gonzalez and Goldstein, both excellent short relief men up in the Long Beach State bullpen.
These guys really came on the second half of the season, and Coach Snow said the bullpen's one of the real reasons we're here at Omaha. He gives a sign, sets up outside again, gives him a good target.
This one hit a long way down the left field line, way back. It is gone. Jim Greeley launched that one down the left field line. Here's a kid who had 1 home run all year, goes into the NCAA regionals, hits 2, and now he has 1 in the College World Series.
Here's Choi, backup slider, knee high. Greeley, it was gone when he hit it. Watch his short stride. Watch those hips unload. He extends the bat, and he knows it's gone. We knew it was gone. It was just a matter of how far. It was about 400 feet. There's a little concession stand out there, and he almost took the roof off.
And now here's Kenny Jackson with LSU up 3-1 in the 7th. He is 0 for 2. High to straightaway left, and Davison will have a play on this one near the line. But the damage has been done. The 3-run homer puts the Tigers on top 3-1. And this is the greeting that Greeley gets when he goes out into the field, and it's the kind of greeting you get after a 3-run job down the line to put your ball club ahead.
Look at those faces. Goes out there. Gets a few taps on the glove. There's the face of a man who's just hit a 3-run home run in the first game of the College World Series. And he's afraid to smile. He doesn't want anybody in the opposition to see it. And his heart is just about up to about 140 beats a minute. He's trying to suppress it right now.
And now the pressure switches back to the Dirtbags.
I talked about this last third of the game when things should start to happen, and they did. The 49ers with a run in the bottom of the 6th, and then Greeley's 3-run home run. Now the pressure changes back to the 49ers.
And things not quite as comfortable on that Long Beach State bench as they were a half inning ago.
Dave Snow is thinking to himself, I gotta think of something here. I've got to come up with something to get us going.
Well, they've got to get some base runners against Mike Sorotka, and that's not the easiest thing to do. He's given up only 2 hits. Hasn't walked anybody and fanned 4.
Mike, that was an 81-mile-an-hour cut fastball there. So Sorotka's got decent speed on his fastball at this point after pitching 6 innings.
This one's fouled back out of play. For Sirotka, this is his 4th College World Series game. 2 years ago, he won a start against Fresno State. In 1990, he had 2 relief appearances. Coming into this game, he'd gone 8 1/3 innings, given up only 2 runs. So now make it 14 plus and 2 runs in the College World Series. Fouled out of play again. Count rides at 2-2.
They're going to continue to pitch Swanson away. As you can see, Antonini setting up outside with the left-handed pitching Sirotka against the left-handed hitting Swanson.
And got him swinging. 5 strikeouts for Sirotka.
This is becoming an out pitch by Sirotka. Tight slider that he starts on the outside third of the plate. What it does is it throws you off. As you can see, Swanson just flailing at it, not trying to go with the pitch. What the 49ers have to do now is hit the ball where it's pitched. They can't try to pull it, hit it out of the ballpark, because Sirotka is not going to give them that opportunity.
And Kevin Curtis comes up looking for his first hit of the ball game. He's 0 for 2. So important to the College World Series to stay in the winner's bracket, because most teams are not pitching rich, and once you fall into the loser's bracket and have to play those extra games to catch up, the pitching can really come apart.
It's just like the regular season where your ace goes out on Friday night. Well, this is Friday night, and the aces are out.
And that's the guy that better win one for you.
With Sirotka, he's been here before. And even though Choi has pitched a great game, made one bad pitch, if you get ahead, you want the guy that's been here before to be able to finish it off for you.
Well, you pointed out earlier in that inning that Sirotka was starting to throw back-to-back pitches that didn't have a lot on him. And when you come inside to a guy with some power, it better have something on it.
If you want to miss, you want to miss up and away or down in the dirt. You don't want to miss with that slider that he threw that didn't break.
Sirotka has been masterful with his control. 56 out of 81 pitches have been strikes. And that one was oh so close to being called strike 3 on Kevin Curtis.
That's a pretty close pitch right there. I think that might have frozen everybody, including the umpire. It's a little low. I'll give you credit for that, but boy, that's a tough one not to swing at.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Full count now to Curtis. Transfer from Hawaii. Makes you wonder why anybody would transfer from Hawaii, you know? I've been there. You transferred to Hawaii.
I'm going back soon, I hope.
3-2 to Curtis. And Sirotka got it.
Okay, now this is what he's doing. He has used his breaking ball and a spot fastball throughout the game. Used his breaking ball to get the guys out. Now he's spotting the fastball as his strikeout pitch. Got a little tail on it. As a matter of fact, he's doing both. He's cutting it a little bit and tailing it a little bit.
He's had complete games in 6 of his last 7 starts, and he's working on another one right here. Fouled out of play. Smith 0 for 2 has lined out twice. And you pointed out the last time he was up, he'll get his hits if he continues to hang in there that way.
Just keep an eye and see if that front shoulder stays in along with that front knee. You cock in his case, the left knee back to get the hips coiled like a spring, and you keep that left shoulder in so that you can use the hands.
Hit hard again, but right at the shortstop, Russ Johnson throws a little high, but Jackson comes down with it. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. After 7 full, it's 3-1. Through 7 full, LSU leading Long Beach State 3-1. Mike Patrick, Steve Garvey, and Larry Conley with you from the College World Series in Omaha. Glad you've joined us on a beautiful night for a good ball game.
There's a look at Dave Snow, 2-6 record in the College World Series. And he's thinking to himself now, what can I do to kickstart this team?
Jason Williams leads it off. He is 1 for 2 plus a walk, single to center field in the 3rd inning.
He's saying it, Snow's saying to himself, Daniel's got to keep him off the base pass. He can't allow any more runs.
Chop back up the middle. Rodriguez ranges behind second and throws him out.
Problem with the 49ers now is they're not a real home run hitting team, so they're going to have to manufacture runs against a pitcher who 2/3 of his pitches have been strikes. He hasn't walked a batter. He's been crafty, as we talked about those left-handers. And it's going to be a tough road. It's uphill right now for the 49ers, but one step at a time. Choi has to keep LSU from scoring again in order for them to get back in the game.
Center fielder Armando Rios, who's grounded out 3 straight times. Of course, Long Beach State scored when LSU made a defensive mistake, and that's been something that has troubled the Tigers throughout the year. Foul back out of play. 1-1. The official attendance here tonight, 16,963, but it is a sellout. All tickets for all games are gone. And that's a testament to the popularity of this event and the strength of the field, with 7 of the best 8 teams in the country here. Breaking ball high, 2-1. Got a pretty good opening night crowd as well at 16,963.
Mike, we've had 2 good games tonight. The first game, Texas A&M winning 5-1 against Kansas, and that really wasn't decided until the 8th inning. And of course, this game 3-1 with the LSU Tigers leading Long Beach State in the top of the 8th.
And he lost him.
Yeah.
Check in with Larry Conley, because Larry's been working the crowd down there. And Larry, it's great to see this kind of turnout here in Omaha.
Yeah, Mike, it really is. Again, this is a record crowd tonight for the World Series on a one night's attendance. I just had an observation and something I wanted to share with you guys to see if you feel the same way. You know, we always seem to want to pick a trend for this College World Series. And I think in our meetings yesterday and today, we talked an awful lot about the quality pitching in this World Series. It might be as good as we've ever seen. And if these 2 games are any indication, I think we're going to see a lot of great pitching this next week.
Well, you're right. It's been superb so far. And, of course, the one thing that catches your eye when you're getting ready for a ball game are all the big batting averages and the home run numbers and the RBIs. But the pitchers just control everything, don't they?
We have a tendency to forget that 4 or 5 of the pitchers here were taken in the first or second round of the Major League draft. So there are some great pitchers who are going to go on to make lots of money in the Major League.
Russ Johnson, the shortstop up there, as Rios had to hustle back to first base on the throw by Watley.
When you get to the College World Series, you usually have an ace and an ace 2. 2 good pitchers. Has a tendency to drop off a little bit after that. So within the first 3 days, you're going to have your 2 aces going, and then the third pitcher is the real key guy. If you get a win from him or win that game, you have a good chance of going all the way.
And if you can stay in the winner's bracket, you may not even need that third guy, which is the delight of a pitching coach.
That's the ultimate for the head coaches also.
Rios with his lead off first. 1 gone here in the LSU 8th. Bluff to start, and Johnson hits it deep to left. It is gone. Russ Johnson with his 8th home run of the year. And the freshman All-American has blown it open.
It all started to unravel for Choi about the 6th inning. He started to throw his pitches high, then to Greeley, got it over the plate, and now this fastball, not much on it inside, and Johnson extends the arms and just drills it about 410 yards to left center. Choi, as you can see, knows it's gone. Knows that he hasn't had it for the last couple innings. Can't believe that after going 16-1, this has happened to him here in the College World Series.
And Dave Snow has gone to get him. We've got a pitching change here at the College World Series. We'll update you when we come back. One top of the 8th, and Choi is gone. Gabe Gonzalez will come on to relieve him. The numbers on Choi, looking to face his only a second defeat of the season. 7 1/3 innings, 5 runs, all of them earned. 5 hits, 4 walks. He fanned 3.
A mixed review, Mike, for Choi, who pitched a very good game through the 6th inning. But then we started to notice he was getting his pitches up. He was getting wild. Then he threw pitches back to back that weren't even close to the strike zone. And Dave Snow suddenly decided, I've got to go out and talk to him. He tried to calm him down, tried to get him to breathe a little more. We have to remember, too, this is the first game of the College World Series, the ultimate for college players. There's going to be more tension in this game. There's a tendency not to breathe, not you normally would, to tighten up a little bit. Even though Choi threw well to that point, then it started to unravel. Really got that hanging slider knee high, and he hit through it and capitalized on it. And then Russ Johnson, doing a good job defensively, had gotten a hit earlier, took a mediocre fastball and hit it about 400 feet to left center.
And you could see the disappointment written all over the face of Rudy Rodriguez and his Long Beach State teammates. Our College World Series coverage will continue tomorrow. Number 3, Texas, with Brooks Kiestick, will take on Oklahoma State. That's the number 17 this year. Steve and I will be back at midnight Eastern tomorrow. That's 9 o'clock on the West Coast for all the action tomorrow night on ESPN. Oklahoma State against Texas. Todd Walker, the All-American, stands in against Gabe Gonzalez. Walker 0 for 2 and a walk. And his average has dropped from 398 to 395. Gonzalez with that whippy left-handed action. His nickname is the Blade, and one look at him and you can see why.
Mike, for our viewers who may think that this game is over because the Cajun power has taken over, remember that the 49ers are still only one swing away from tying this game. If they can somehow get the bases loaded and one guy hit it out, now it's 5-5. So the 49ers are still in this game, but with one out, they have to keep the Tigers down and not let them score again.
Gonzalez has Walker pounding the ball into the ground, and Martins throws him out.
There's Dave Snow. He's doing a little creative scorekeeping, trying to erase a couple of those runs.
2 pitches and he'd be ahead 1-0 if he could erase those.
Well, we mentioned that before, that the Tigers, they have the power, the ability to break the game open, and the 49ers are a team that are going to manufacture runs, play solid defense, and good pitching.
Harry Berrios stands in 0 for 3 with 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
And on this, an atypical night at Rosenblatt Stadium, no wind to speak of. The flag draped nicely down in center field. It was pure power by Greeley and Johnson that has broken this game open.
Soroka, as if he already hasn't thrown enough, is on the sideline, and this is something you certainly don't see in Major League Baseball.
Now, I saw this in the first game. I saw Granger doing it down the sideline. I saw Korn doing it for Kansas down the other sideline. And I'm amazed. Does this mean they're not getting enough pitching out there?
Berrios chased one and missed it.
I used to see this with the Japanese professional teams that would come to Vero Beach in spring training. The Tokyo Giants, they'd warm up on the sideline during the game. They couldn't get enough throwing in. And I guess it's become infectious at the college ranks now. This won't happen when they sign professional. I guarantee it.
Gonzalez down low. And it's 3-1. Gonzalez has had a sensational season. 13 saves, 3 wins, an ERA of 1.19. Hasn't given up a run in his last 10 appearances. And there was absolutely no call on that one, as there was a timeout.
That was a ball that got
came out
away
on the
from
field.
the bullpen. The umpire at first base taking notes, calling time.
Everybody was sort of frozen there. The home plate umpire was looking around, the catcher and the hitter. Everybody wanted to know what was happening. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
And we don't have the greatest sight lines. We couldn't see either.
Got the low strike on that one, 3-2.
Gonzalez works from the first base side of the rubber. Very tough on left-handed hitters. Uses it to throw a good sinker to right-hand.
Line drive, base hit, left field for Berrios. And he's aboard with 2 gone. LSU leading at 5-1. And the Tiger fans celebrating here as they are closing in on moving or remaining in the winner's bracket. Mike Neal, the DH, who is 1 for 3, a double and a run scored, will come up now with 2 gone against Gabe Gonzalez. Berrios at first, 21 stolen bases. He doesn't look like your typical base stealer with that frame of his, but 21 out of 27.
We go back to that 7th inning. Mike Neal, the captain of the Tigers, was the guy that really got things going. Took a pitch and hit it to right center, and it got the Tigers back into the game.
In the dirt and short hops in front of Watley, can't come up with it, and Berrios easily into second base.
Watley's got some kind of Super Bowl chest protector on or something tonight, because each ball that he's blocked, and he's done it very well. He's an excellent defensive catcher. They have just bounced off that chest and gone anywhere from 10 to 15 feet away.
He's done a great job of getting his body in front of it.
He has. Great mechanics.
2-0 to Neal.
It's a hitter's pitch. Lefty against righty.
And an off-speed pitch got him swinging.
See, there's a situation. If Neal would have thought to himself, if that ball's outside, I'm going to go the other way, he would have hit that very hard, just like he hit the double. But he wanted to hit it out of the ballpark. He wanted to get his 2-run homer.
This one's tapped foul back toward the dugout. 2-2. So Gonzalez trying to get out of the inning without any further damage. His club already down 5-1 and only 2 more at-bats to cut into that. And really not used to this situation, being down 4 runs and being in the ball game. Dave Snow using him to keep it close. Chop toward third. Falston. Not a good throw, but Swanson did a nice job of coming across the bag. Russ Johnson does the damage here with a 2-run homer and makes it 5-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Long Beach State trying to cut into a 5-1 LSU lead. And in case you joined us late, this is the storyline, and it has been power after a pitcher's duel into the 7th inning. Greeley and Johnson have provided all the LSU runs on a 3-run and a 2-run homer, and Sorotka has been masterful through 7 innings. He has struck out 6, walked none, and given up only 2 base hits.
And Mike, even more effective than that. Ironically, you'd say, gosh, no walks and 6 strikeouts, but it's the way he's pitched this 49er team. They haven't hit the ball hard at all, and that's the big problem for them now. With 6 outs to go, they've got to start hitting line drives and not at this defensive Tiger team.
Rodriguez comes up 0 for 2. And of course, the only run that they got was on a Sorotka mistake when he threw the ball away trying to get a runner at third base. Big breaking ball, high and inside.
49ers should be taking a pitch now, being down by 4 runs. Make Sorotka throw strikes.
Ball. 2-0. Rodriguez has drawn 39 walks this year, and he'll be as patient as he can right now.
Rodriguez looks a little bit like my old teammate with the Padres, a guy by the name of Luis Salazar, who had the best gun I've ever seen from third base.
Fastball right in there, 2-1.
He used to handcuff you all the way across the infield. He threw a ball. Pitching would be 95 miles an hour. He'd throw a ball that would come and then just rise. He would rise from third base, which you never expected.
Big swing and a miss right through it for Rodriguez. 2-2.
Can't take the big swings now. You've got to put the ball in play. Put the pressure on the Tiger defense. Hit the ball where it's pitched.
Siratka's control has been so good tonight. He's gone to 3 balls on only 3 batters. So it's his advantage every time. And Skip Bertman would like him to go the distance. He has no one in the bullpen.
Skip talking to Adrian Antonini, telling Antonini to be a leader on the field, talk to his position players, let him know where he wants them to play.
2-2 to Rodriguez. Stays alive. He'll be followed by Davison and Watley. The 6, 7, and 8 men in the order. And the rally caps are in order, down 5-1 in the 8th. But you need a little more spirit. You can't just turn the caps around, can you? And this is the guy that drives that spirit most of the time, Rudy Rodriguez.
He's going to battle you.
And just trying to waste the good ones.
Rodriguez thinking to himself, now I don't want to strike out. I want to put the ball in play. This is mano a mano, as you hear. It's pitcher against hitter. He's saying to himself, I'm not going to let him strike me out. I'm going to protect this plate.
Couldn't get around on that one. And Sirotka struck him out.
It's that devil that has besieged the 49ers tonight, known as the spotted fastball. And here's another example. Looking for a slider. The fastball goes right by Rodriguez for strike 3.
7 strikeouts on the night for Sirotka. Sean Davison 0 for 2, fly to center, and one of the strikeout victims back in the 3rd.
Mike, nothing is more frustrated than when you're looking for an off-speed pitch to have that fastball just creep by you. There's nothing you can do. You can look fastball and get a curve and you can adjust, but you can't look breaking ball and be able to speed up your swing for that fastball enough. It just doesn't work, especially with a guy like Sirotka that can throw at 85.
Bottom of the 8th, Long Beach State trying to get something started, down by 4. Davison tries the bunt. Sirotka cat quick off the mound and throws him out. 2 gone.
Good try by Sean Davison that time, trying to break it up a little bit, but he couldn't get the ball by Sirotka. Good idea to push it towards first base because of Sirotka being left-handed and falling off the mound, but Sirotka is pretty well positioned after he throws the ball.
So Brian Watley comes up with the bases empty and 2 out here in the 8th. Watley 1 for 2, doubled and scored Long Beach State's only run. And has had a couple of good rips at Mike Sirotka. That's outside. Got a letter from a young man a couple of weeks ago who said, we always mention all the players and all the coaches. How about mentioning the umpires? They work very hard to get there too, so we'll do that. Tom Jenkins, the home plate umpire. Tony Thompson working with him at first. Jim Garman at third. Bill LaRue down at third. Garman is at second. 3 of these guys in their first College World Series, and they do work very hard to get here. They're selected because of what they've done.
Yes, you earned your way to Omaha, not only as a player but as an umpire. Garman I've had for a number of games in the Pac-10. He does an excellent job.
This is his 3rd College World Series. Strike called. Sirotka gets his 8th. And the Tigers of LSU 3 outs away from winning their first game.
ESPN's presentation of the 1993 College World Series is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
We go to the 9th with LSU leading Long Beach State 5-1 here in the opening game of the College World Series for both of these ball clubs. Our opening day on ESPN, and we'll be here until it's over. And LSU LSU all smiles in their dugout, but it's not the same across the way. And the new pitcher, David Goldstein, a junior out of Long Beach, California. He is the other short reliever who's had such a fine year for Dave Snow in Long Beach State. 6 saves, 3-2 record, 2.56 ERA. And Dave Snow just trying to make sure that LSU doesn't get any more and hoping for a big night from his club. Texas A&M won the opening game this afternoon, beating Kansas. Close ball game like this one until late, and ended up with a 5-1 score. So Texas A&M remains in the winner's bracket. Kansas 1 game away from elimination. And what a great year for Kansas athletics. Went to a bowl game in football. The baseball team gets to the College World Series, and of course they have that established great basketball program in the Roy Williams.
Like Adrian Antonini, he probably has done as much in this game as the home run hitters, and everybody may laugh at me, but his walk really got to Choi more than anything else. You're looking at Skip Bertman right here. He's been here before. He's been the head coach of an NCAA championship team, and he's saying to himself, I want more runs, maybe not for the win tonight, but to carry the momentum to the next game. He wants his guys up there slashing at the ball.
Well, I think you make an excellent point about Antonini, because here was a guy hitting .225 who Choi expects to get out with no real problem, and he didn't do it.
And what happens is Choi's still thinking about Anthony. How can I walk that guy? And he hangs a pitch that's hit out of the ballpark that breaks the game open. And that was the slider that hung to Greeley.
There's Choi, had the ice on the shoulder. If this score stands, he will be 16-2. Goldstein, predominantly a fastball pitcher.
Going back to the ice and Choi, it's amazing how short the ice is on your arm when you lose and how long it is on your arm when you win.
And he lost him. So Antonini has drawn a couple of walks in this ball game. And you can bet that Skip Bertman will be trying to get that insurance run. And right away, he's going to go for Ryan Huffman as a pinch runner. And he is a former quarterback for LSU's football team. Now a safety, and he'll go barreling into second base if he gets the chance.
Those old quarterbacks and defensive backs, rugged, right, Mike?
That's right. You speak from that experience.
Fearless, as my nose can testify.
Greeley squares around to bunt and pulls it back, takes it outside for a ball.
When you take a look at Jim Greeley squaring around now, there's two philosophies, and we'll do a little clinic now about sacrifice bunting. One is to go horizontal in the batter's box and get the bat out there and just use the bottom hand as a fulcrum and bunt it to third or first. The other philosophy is just to pivot in your tracks kind of at a 45-degree angle.
Greeley not squaring around this time. Of course, he had the 3-run homer that took them from down 1 to up 2.
Maybe Coach Skip said, oh, wait a minute. Greeley hit the home run. I can't have him bunting. We're ahead by 4 runs. Maybe he'll have one of those kind of nights. Maybe he'll have a 2-home run night.
Hey, you want to walk toward the dugout and say, Skip, I'm the guy who hit it 380 last time.
Coach, 44, Greeley. You know all the 44 guys hit home runs?
That's right.
This is not the best of communications by the LSU. I think they're telling him not to steal. But when you get in a College World Series game for the first time, you're anxious.
Huffman hustles back. Well, that's, you know, when you're some guys, you're giving them a sign not to steal. When you run halfway out to first base, you're being adamant about it.
The only guy that would do that to fool him would be Billy Martin. Yeah. Billy Martin used to hold the 4 fingers up to walk a guy and then throw right down the middle for a strikeout.
Really got a piece of that one and fouled it back. Now, just from a strategy standpoint, why would you not want Huffman to try to go for second base at this point?
Well, I think what you want is you want to pitch to Greeley. Greeley's hit the home run. He's swinging the bat well. If he steals second base, maybe Dave Snow says, oh, let's walk him and pitch to the next guy. And that's Jackson, and Jackson's show for 3 tonight.
1 and 2, got him on the fists and fouled it outside of third.
The reason I love watching college baseball is it's not like the pros. Don't ever confuse it with the game they play at Dodger Stadium or at Candlestick or Wrigley Field with what we're seeing tonight. These amateur players out here are playing the game much more like it should be played by doing things like the cutoffs and the sacrifices and pitching to the mitt. And the coaches are teachers. They're not managers, they're teachers. And what they're teaching their teams right now, they want to carry over to the next game. What Skip Bertman's doing right now is he's saying, okay, this is the way I manage. I don't want my guy at second because they'll walk the home run hitter. And Dave Snow is saying, okay, I'm pitching Gonzalez and Goldstein to get them into the game, to get them some action for the next game. Even if we lose tonight, the guys now are solid.
Drilled to left field. Off the top of the wall, the fans signaling home run, and it is. A screaming line drive hit over the head of Sean Davison.
Did we say it might be one of those nights for Greeley?
Yeah.
One of those 2 home run nights. You're not going to see a ball get out of a ballpark any quicker than what Jim Greeley does with this fastball. Same area as his first home run, except this is a fastball. Goes back, and it's almost a hat catch. He makes a great job of, oh my. That's E-fan left field. E10.
Davison just had no chance to get back to the wall. So Greeley now with 4 home runs, or make it 5 home runs on the year, 2 in the NCAA playoffs in the South Regional, and 2 in the opening game of the College World Series. And Skip Bertman's got to be saying, where have you been all year long?
Okay, I'll tell you what. The next team that plays LSU, they've got to say to themselves, do not walk Antonini.
That's right.
You can roll it up there, let him hit it, but do not walk Adrian Antonini because they'll kill you after that. And that's what's happened tonight.
All 7 LSU runs have come on homers.
All right, let's take a look at the 10th man. The fan in the stands for the 49ers tries to make the catch. He gives with it nicely. And oh, and it rolls out of his glove. And he wants it. He's saying, that's my ball. Give it back to me. I'm sorry, out of his hat. Give me the ball. It's mine. I want it.
Now, if you're wondering if that ball was really over the fence, a long fly ball, that might not have made it. But the trajectory of that one, it was out of here.
It didn't even dip a lot. No. Usually balls hit that low will have some overspin to them, and they will get out there and sink. But that ball was still going.
So LSU with 3 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, now here 2 in the 9th, and they're up 7-1.
It was almost a hat trick in honor of our ESPN coverage.
And that is the first home run Goldstein has given up this year. And Greeley becomes only the 16th player ever in the College World Series to hit 2 homers in 1 game. Nobody's ever hit 3. All the great home run hitters who have been here, nobody's done it. And it doesn't look like Greeley will get up again for another shot at it. You were talking about the difference in college and pro ball. The other difference is when these kids are done, the first call won't be to their agent, it'll be to mom. Called strike.
That's right. It'll be, hey mom, can I bring my laundry home? And could I have $20, $40, $60?
Yeah.
You know, I'm out of money. It was a great time in Omaha. I'm broke. There he is.
Huge night for that young man. Jason Williams out of Gonzales, Louisiana, stands in 1 for 3, has a single. and a walk. And it's 0-2 from David Goldstein. And it's gotten away from Dave Snow and the Dirtbags of Long Beach State. They will face Kansas on Sunday afternoon.
Mike, we have our Reebok player of the game to determine, and it's going to be a tough one tonight. Soraka obviously has pitched a fabulous game, and now Greeley he's put himself into contention. I guess we can't split the shoes up, can we? Which reminds me of a story back in the World Series of '74. Tom Lasorda wears Adidas all year. We get to the World Series, and they're introducing us on the line, and he comes running out, and there's something different about him.
This one is popped up off the right side. Swanson going toward the stands, and it's out of play.
So Lasorda gets to the line. I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, gosh, it's something different. I look at his face, his uniform. I go down to his feet. And on his right foot, he had an Adidas. On his left foot, he had a Nike. So I get into the dugout, and I said, what is this? You were with Adidas all year. He says, well, Nike offered me a little bonus for the World Series, and I still wanted to maintain my loyalty to Adidas. I said, that is the Tom Lasorda I know and love.
The breaking ball outside. 3-2. Well, you got to take care of yourself. That's the bottom line.
That's right. Got to make hay while it lasts, as they say.
One gone here in the ninth. 2 more runs already in for LSU, and Williams will draw the pass. Major League Baseball will take over when we're done here in Omaha, and a good one coming up. Barry Bonds will go against his old teammates as the Pirates play San Francisco at Candlestick. The Giants continue to lead the National League West, and Bonds continues his assaults on the stat charts. Hope you'll stay tuned. We'll bring you that ball game right after this one. And Dave Snow comes out to talk to David Goldstein.
Like you just mentioned, Barry Bonds, he played for Arizona State. Arizona State turning out a number of great major league players. Reggie Jackson, Barry Bonds, obviously, Sal Bando, Rick Monday. The names go on and on. Maybe as many as any team except for USA.
And certainly they were the dominant team over quite a long stretch in college baseball.
It's always interesting to see the statistics for college baseball and the number of wins by teams in the College World Series. And you see teams that have won 5 times, 4 times, and then you look at USC and Rod Dedeaux winning 11 national championships and stringing together 5 or 6 at a time. Maybe the Boston Celtics of college baseball.
Yeah. Here's the new pitcher, Andy Wise from Fountain Valley, California. .16 games, an ERA over 5. And Goldstein ineffective. Let's take a look at the bracket that these teams are in. Texas A&M with a win this afternoon over Kansas, so the Jayhawks drop into the losers bracket. Remember, it is a double elimination event. Long Beach State is on the verge of also dropping into that losers bracket with LSU to face Texas A&M. And here are the records in bracket 2 with Arizona State, Wichita State, Texas the 3rd seed, and Oklahoma State the 6th seed. All those teams will face off tomorrow in their opening round of the College World Series. And Texas with that 50-14 record, we'll see them against Oklahoma State tomorrow night. Well, the LSU bats were certainly quiet through the first 6. Only 2 hits and no runs, but they have exploded on Long Beach State since then with 3 home runs, 1 a 3-run job, and 2 2-home runs, 2 2-run homers, and Greeley has a pair, 7 runs and 5 hits in the last 2 1/3.
This is what the 49ers were concerned about. The Cajun power from the LSU Tigers, and it's more than lived up to its reputation these last 2 innings with 3 home runs and all 7 runs being provided by the long ball.
Armando Rios looking for his first base hit of the night. Does have a walk with Williams down at first base and 1 out. Great stop at second by Martins. Goes to short. Rodriguez throws back. Excellent play. Eric Martins to get the lead runner.
Martins continues to impress all of us in the way he plays second base. Great range. This time he goes to his left, smothers the ball, and is able to get up quickly and throw to second base for the putout. Not in time to get Rios, but just a great play by Eric Martins. Plants that knee, pivots around, then makes a good throw. A good throw meaning one that the shortstop can at least get the ball away and get it to first base.
And real quick hands by Rodriguez actually gave him a decent shot at a double play. Russ Johnson comes up 2 for 4. Has his average up to 355. Freshman All-American a year ago. All-tournament team in the SEC tournament. Some outstanding young talent on his ball club. Hit wide to third into the hole, and Rodriguez does the smart thing and just eats it. Had no play on anybody.
That was a ball that got by the third baseman a little quicker than we anticipated, simply because this infield is, the grass is high and it's a slow infield. But you want good games out of your key guys, especially in the first game of this College World Series. And that's what Skip Bertman has gotten from Johnson and from Greeley, from Neal. The only guy we haven't heard much from is Todd Walker, and he's due.
Johnson now 3 for 5 tonight, and Walker comes in 0 for 3, looking for his first base hit of the College World Series. You know he wanted to come up again. Hits it hard, but right at Davison in left field. So the inning is over, but 2 more across for LSU. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Tigers up 7-1. And LSU has broken up a close ball game. They actually fell behind 1-0 after 6, but they have exploded with long ball power in the final 3 innings.
The Tigers doing what they do best, using the long ball, and of course getting the number 1 pitcher for the 49ers out of the game, and that's Daniel Choi. Choi having some control problems leading to those 2 home runs. 1 from Greeley and 1 from Johnson.
And Scott Berardi is in as a defensive replacement behind the plate.
It's Daniel Choi now relaxing a little bit, probably reminiscing about a game that got out of hand after he put in 6 good innings.
And hoping for a chance to be able to pitch again in the College World Series. His teammates will have to pick him up to give him another start. This is Falskin, the number 9 hitter, who comes in 0 for 2. Now, I'm sure Dave Snow told him all we need is 6 straight base hits and we're in.
One at a time. Let's get on base. Let's take a pitch. We're down by 6 runs. Let's swing at strikes. Let's hit the ball where it's pitched. And I know Dave Snow wants one thing now. He wants some kind of rally. He wants some base runners. He doesn't want to go out with a whimper, so to speak.
Right. This win for LSU, if they can hang on to the lead, would be their 50th of the year and the 5th straight season they have won at least 50 games. A remarkable record for Skip Bertman. He has put together a remarkable program in Baton Rouge.
Talk about in football, college teams winning 9+ games, which is great. Basketball 20+, 50+ in college baseball is excellent.
Yeah. Johnson makes the play at short. 1 gone in the ninth. Back to the top of the order, and here is the record for the last 5. And in '91, they won 55 games, matching a school record, and that was the national championship season when they won here in Omaha. Back to the top of the order, and Kobe Cradle. Desperate to get anything started against Soroka, who is coasting right now.
And after looking at that chart, I think 55 wins for them in '93 would give them another championship.
Yes, it would.
Another 5 wins, and they should be there.
Those math courses were good at Michigan State, weren't they?
Well, only took 1 good one, but it lasted. That was in batting average. It was batting average 101.
And you were good at that. You got an A+, didn't you?
An A+ in that one.
On the inside corner, 1 and 2 to Cradle.
We haven't heard much tonight from the Cobra, Kobe Cradle, but he's a good, solid player.
This is pitch number 107 on the way from Sorotka, and it's inside.
You know, Mike, if you were to say 107 for a major league pitcher,
right,
that would start to be a lot, but not in college baseball. You'll see 130s, 135s from the good pitchers.
Cradle slaps it outside. Why is that?
Well, the reason is that it's two reasons. One, good young arms, and I think a lot of times the head coaches will develop their pitches to be able to go anywhere from 110 to 125 pitches because you don't have the same bullpens in college baseball. So you want your quality starters to be able to give you 7 good innings.
Check swing, and Cradle is down. Now, some of the major league scouts are critical of that in the college programs with allowing young kids to throw that many pitches. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I agree to a certain point. Let's look at this slider that has been Sorotka's signature pitch all night long for a strikeout on Cradle. I think there are two types of college coaches. College coaches who coach for the season and for the moment, for the game, and college coaches who develop professional baseball players. And in this case, I think that Skip Bertman's a guy who wants to have each player reach his potential, and even though he may not be a professional player, he wants them to get the most out of their college experience.
Sorotka has allowed only 5 base runners all night long, and Eric Martin's the last chance for Long Beach State. 2 gone in the bottom of the 9th, down 7-1.
And the strike zone gets a little bit bigger in situations like this, even though I think this has been a well-called game by both the plate umpire and the umpires in the field.
Breaking ball outside. Sorotka facing potentially the last batter of the night. No walks, 9 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 run. That was unearned.
Eric Martin's saying to himself now, I don't want to end this game. I've had a good game at second base. I want to get on. I want to get a hit.
2-2 after the foul tip. John Swanson would be next if he can keep it going. But the Tigers up on the top step of the dugout waiting to celebrate with Mike Sorotka.
Just had a shot of Skip Bertman, who exhaled a little bit and probably said to himself, I think we got this one.
If he doesn't, it's as close as he'll ever get before he loses one.
That's right.
Just outside with a fastball.
Psychologically, this has been a good game for LSU also because some of their good players have had great games, and a player like Todd Walker, who's maybe one of the best 2 or 3 players in the country, didn't get any hits, so that will there's a good hit.
Base hit by Martins down the right field line. He'll make the turn at first and hold there.
Good for Eric Martins. I like that. I like a good competitor up there, even when you're down by 6 runs. I don't want to make that last out. I want to get a hit, and he did a good job of fighting that ball off to right field. But to get back to Todd Walker for a second, this is going to feed on him for 2 days now.
Sure.
And he will be really focused for the Tigers' second game. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Todd Walker really have a great game the next time out.
Eddie Davis, the junior out of New Orleans, is the pinch hitter for John Swanson. Dave Snow trying to get some other people in the game and maybe keep something going against Sorotka. Davis only with 28 at bats all year, hitting .214. And it's 1-1.
We've said it all about Sorotka. What he wants to do is strike out this last man.
And the last couple of guys, I think you're right. He's tended to overthrow a little bit. He wants to get out of here.
Pitchers want to end on that keynote strikeout. They want to strike the guy out, have the catcher bring the ball out to him, hand it to him. And that'll be it.
Fouled straight back, had a good cut. 2-2. So once again, Long Beach State down to its last swing.
Tough situation for Eddie Davis coming off the bench. You're down by 6 runs. You're facing a guy who's pitched as well as Sriracha.
Breaking ball slapped on the ground toward third. Williams comes up, throws, and got it. And that's it. LSU explodes with their power in the last 3 innings and rides the left arm of Mike Sriracha to a 7-1 victory in the opening game of the College World Series. Sriracha's 9th complete game of the year. We'll be back in a moment. The final of this opening round game from Omaha, LSU, a winner over Long Beach State. 7-8-1 for the Tigers. Long Beach State won 3-1. And Mike Sriracha, the winning pitcher, is our Reebok player of the game. Scattered 3 hits and struck out 9. Going the distance for the 9th time this year, wins his 11th game. Jim Greeley, the hitting star, with a couple of home runs tonight. Johnson also had a 2-run blast. And Sriracha was masterful on the mound for the Tigers of LSU. And they have a chance to celebrate their victory here in Omaha. For our entire ESPN crew, good night from Omaha. Gary Miller and our baseball staff is next.